Before you get started on creating your video, you need to ask these two questions. One, what's your message? So what are you trying to say? Are you getting a message across of an opening? Maybe you're closed, but you're pivoting to another strategy. So you're trying to get that message across to your audience. Maybe you're trying to get the message across that your store has been closed for this time. There's so many different things that your message can be, and that's the first thing you have to decide.
So if you don't have a goal in mind before creating your piece of content, you're starting with the wrong approach. So as when you're creating ads on Facebook ads, for example, you decide when you want to sell, if you want to generate leads, if you want to launch a new campaign, if you want to bring brand awareness, if you have something to say. The same thing with the content you're using. You have to have a clear goal from start to finish what you want people to do with this video, with this piece of content. So always, before you start, think about the purpose of the content. And as we said before, you can do entertainment, educational content, or just selling your content. But why is the reason?
Exactly. And then number two, before you get started on actually crafting the script of your video, is who and what does your audience relate to? So if my brand is something towards maybe a younger crowd, maybe kids, what do they relate to? Maybe they relate to being at home and doing homeschooling. Maybe they relate to knowing that their parents are making their dinner at certain time. What does your audience relate to? If it's somebody in the older crowd, do they relate to maybe not seeing their family during this time? There's so many things. Just put yourself in your audience's shoes and then see what can really grasp their opinion. Because once we decide that, then we know exactly how to form the video around.
And that's when it comes audience research. Do you really know your audience? Have you studied your audience, the behaviors, everything you're doing? What do they consume? The magazines they read, the shows they watch, what platform do they use? Also, where do they spend their money usually? The shows they watch, the movies they like. So you have to research your target audience before you start producing the content for them. So you can relate to them and just start creating that content that's relatable and you can speak straight to them.
Exactly. Hello to you guys that are joining us right now. Oh, I think I turned the camera. We're back. To you guys that are joining us right now, we are talking about creating your video storyline, and we just went over the two things you need before actually creating your script, and now we're on the 5 ingredients to a successful video. Go ahead and screenshot this. This is great information for you to come back to. And secret hint, this also is a great strategy for copywriting. So if you're ever doing your brand's captions or you need to do something that grabs the audience attention in a text form, this is also the strategy that you want to follow.
So these steps are super simple and you need them for anything you start doing online. So first to start is the attention grabber. So if you're putting an ad on social media or someone is scrolling your feed on IG, TikTok, or any platform, the first 3 to 5 seconds are the most important within the video or photo, okay? So you need to make sure to say something that's different. Just step out of your comfort zone, step out of the normal within the Instagram guidelines. If you are used to seeing lines that are horizontal, you can put the lines a little bit crooked so they just stop. People look and they stop and start watching the video. Or you can use words that are a little bit more, let's say, clickbaity. You can also use a little bit of controversial topics. You can give your opinions so people can stop and start watching the video. Also the thumbnails, the pictures, use colors, bright colors. So you need to grab the attention of your audience.
Exactly. Then we go to number 2, state a problem. So like we mentioned before, you create your script, you're thinking about what message you want to get across. So go ahead and state that problem in order to really hook them on your video that you're creating. It can be anything. Don't necessarily think of it as like a negative problem. It can be anything that the audience is maybe having trouble with, or they're struggling with, or they aren't getting to the full maximum potential of.
So super clear. I mean, if you have a product, a service, or whatever you have, if you don't have a problem, if you're not solving a problem, you have to go back to your drawing board and find that specific problem, because we're here to solve those, to make it easier for our audience, to find a way to work with them and just improve what they're doing. So you have to state that problem and be relatable. You can compare it with regular situations that are coming in. So always have a state problem that's super clear in the beginning.
Exactly. And that's how we jump over to number 3. Just like you mentioned that you have to be relatable, you have to establish credibility. So who are you? What does your brand do? And why do we have to listen to you? So if you're a brand, make sure that you do put your brand's image and your brand's expertise. Maybe it might be the number of years that you've been around or the amount of experience that you have. Put that out there so that the audience watching your video really understands that you are a credible and a reliable source.
Yes, so credibility is everything. So if you have an audience and you are there every day, they trust you, they're part of your community. So tell whatever you're saying, you can tell and use the words, logos, you can use many things to establish credibility. So it's super important. So you have to add that within your commercial, your video, whatever piece of content you put out, okay?
Awesome. Now we're going to number 4. So number 4 is state a solution. So if you're already on number 4 and your audience is up to this point, they want to know what you have to provide for them. So go ahead and state your solution, whether it's a product that you're offering, whether it's a service that you're trying to promote. Go ahead and get that out there and let them know that with this service or product or whatever you're providing, you're going to solve their problem.
Also, you can put it number 3 and number 4, you can change them depending on whatever material you're using. If you want to state the problem and then the solution and tell them who you are later on, that's fine also. But make sure when you state the problem, then right away you tell them, okay, this is what I offer, these are my services, this is the solution to your problem. So this is specifically for video marketing when you are trying to sell, but also you can use this for entertainment. You can also use the formula for educational content. So you first tell them, okay, what's going on? This is what you don't know, but this is what you're going to learn. Okay, so you have to keep them engaged so they can watch the full piece of content. So make sure you have a problem and then the solution super clear and super dynamic within the first 30 to 1 minute of the video.
Awesome, that's great information. If you guys are having any questions or wondering anything, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And thank you guys for the ones that are just tuning in. Go ahead and screenshot this and look back at it whenever you're creating a video or even thinking about what kind of copywriting to do for your brand. So we're up to number 5. This is the last ingredient that your video needs in order to be successful, and it's that call to action. A call to action is basically, what do you want your audience to do? So many times we might think it's obvious that our brand, after seeing something, might click, or they might call us, or they might purchase. But in reality, it's not that obvious. So go ahead and give the audience word by word, super clear what they have to do. If you want them to give you a call, go ahead and say, give us a call at blah, blah, blah number, XYZ. Go ahead and click the link for more information. Purchase your new product here and here. You have to be super clear. Imagine if you were talking to a 3-4-year-old. Give them the exact instructions that they need to follow.
Also, remember when we talk about the first, when you establish your purpose, whatever you're trying to do at the beginning, what's your goal, that's when it comes into play. So step number 5 is when you linked that first goal with whatever you want them to do. So it can be a call, it can be an email, it can be a call to action like, okay, let me get a like, a subscribe, or whatever you want to do. I mean, you can use that CTA. That's your opportunity to get what you're asking for. And sometimes maybe you're just asking a simple question as a questionnaire. Just give me an opinion of whatever you're thinking. It's not always monetary, but think that everything you do, you have to have a call to action.
Exactly. So now on to the next part of a video. So we gave you the 5 things that you need for your script or for the storyline that's going on in the background of your video. That's really what you sit down to think, okay, who am I going to put in the video? Where is the video going to be located? All that good stuff goes with the last 5 that we mentioned. But now we're on 8 factors of a successful video. So besides the copywriting and the strategy, you need to make sure that you're doing these 8 things in order for your video to actually be seen and to be remembered, which is the most important thing. And obviously, if we're talking about social media, then we want it to be shared and to be promoted organically amongst different accounts.
So starting with anticipation, that's super important. Are you promoting the content you're posting? Are you building up that, thing that's coming up? I mean, you're posting something that's great. You need to be sharing it. So you need to anticipate and also speak with your audience to what's coming up. So that's a key component of whatever you're trying to do.
Exactly. Next, we have trust. Just like we mentioned, the reliability, the relatability, and the credibility. You want to make sure that you are building trust with your audience, that no matter what you come up with, what product, what service, what thing you might be changing during these times, that your audience actually trusts you.
Also, likability is super important. I mean, you need to be as relatable as possible and also be positive. Just it's a fact that people don't like a negative or negativity within your conversations, whatever you have to say, because it's not something that comes across super nice. So be sure that you are positive, you're smiling, and you show your true self. Don't try to just showcase whatever personality that you're pushing. Just be yourself and try to keep it up always a notch, okay?
Exactly. Next, we're going to community, which is very similar to the part of likability. And it is a proven fact that your audience will like and relate more to whoever they are as an audience. So if your product or service serves women, make sure that in your video you have a woman. If your product or service goes for pets, make sure you have a pet in the video that the audience, the pet owners can relate to actually a pet being in there. So just make sure you are very aware of the community that your brand revolves around.
Also, the authority. How many years have you been in business? How many clients, happy clients have you had? There are many things, like how many companies have worked with you. So are you a leader in the industry? There are many things that you can use to establish authority on whatever you're doing. So use that to your advantage. And also, it's super important if you have video reviews, if you have reviews from whatever you have. I mean,
customer testimonials
is super important. Then you can use that to your content material and use that to your advantage.
Awesome. And next we have reciprocity, which is basically the exchange for a mutual benefit. So make sure that you are doing something that your audience feels like they are benefiting from.
Also, scarcity. If you make them know that this is not something that's going on forever, maybe it's a live that goes one in a lifetime. You only have one opportunity to ask a question live.
Right now.
Like right now, for example. Also, maybe you are giving consultations just only one time this week, or you only have a certain amount of lots available. That's something that is incentivizing the audience to purchase or to do something. So having the scarcity is always important in any piece of content that you put out.
Lots of brands usually do it as like there's certain amount of quantity remaining. So for example, grab yours today, we only have 2 left, and that goes hand in hand with urgency, which is, let's say for example, you literally right now, you watching, have about like 5 minutes left to ask any questions that you want in terms of marketing. So just like that, you can create that sense of urgency that if you don't ask any questions right now, then you literally miss that bus.
Exactly. And finally, we have urgency that ties up with scarcity. That's super nice. I mean, but just to emphasize that is a way that you have to keep it in mind in anything you do. And just be part and be present within your audience. And also there are many ways that this can go wrong, so always be trustful of whatever you say. For example, if you say you only have 5 units left, really mean it. You only have 5 units left, and after that, if someone comes, you won't sell it because you don't have it.
Or my favorite, when they say like, a sale lasts for 24 hours, and then you go back a week later and they still have the sale.
Exactly. So you can see that a lot in e-commerce. They use a lot of scarcity and urgency. But when you use it, that's what I wanted to say it again. I mean, when you use it, make sure you just do it the right way and you do it genuinely, because it's your company, it's your brand, it's your name that's in the line. So make sure you do it the right way, okay?
Exactly. And then you end up losing the trust, which is something that you never want to lose from a brand or anything. So go ahead and let us know if you have any questions. We'll go ahead and put it back to the 5 things that your brand needs for those of you that are jumping on right now. No, the other one. The other one. Yeah, for those of you that are jumping on right now, you can go ahead and screenshot this or watch the replay when we post it on YouTube, because you really need this to create your video script, your strategy, and even your copywriting. It's super, super important that you are looking back at this and you're following the 5 exact ingredients. This is a proven formula that actually gets the audience attention, you keep it, and then you convert it, which is exactly what you want to be doing during your videos.
Exactly. Please keep in mind, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're doing this every single week, Thursdays.
There's like tape on my
So just keep in mind that's something that's coming up every single week, and you can reach us at direct message and just send your topics, your questions, so we make sure that we can share our piece of knowledge just for you, okay? So last week we did how to podcast, and the week before we did, what did we do? We have so many topics, everything that's going on around, but
the 3-in-1 strategy.
The 3-in-1 strategy, and now we're doing how to create your content. So what's coming up next week? You have to keep it up with the accounts. And stay tuned, because we put the topics a day before we launch the live.
Exactly. And big news tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. we will be launching a complete 2-hour free Facebook course, Facebook like ad training, that you can follow along if you want to learn how to sell and promote your products using Facebook ads, which is 100% recommended. If you're using the right audience and the right targeting, it's going to convert.
Exactly. And you can use this strategy that we taught you today to creating your ads. I mean, if you're selling using ads and you combine this knowledge with the training, you'll be all set to start running and selling your products online. So it's super exciting. We're gonna make sure to put the video and all the promo material on the TDC account, so you can get it as soon as it comes out.
Exactly. So thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, in the meantime, we were joking, we are available later on through direct message or through any of our profiles. Don't be scared to ask us any questions in regards to marketing. We're here to answer them for you.
Awesome. So see you next week. Have an amazing weekend. Enjoy yourself. Stay home. Stay healthy. See you soon, okay?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.